I found a JRPG for everybody. Yes, even this type.
I am so upset with you right now. Why are you on your phone scrolling? Go to bed.
This is a list for excellent starting points into many of the JRPG franchises and the genre as a whole. So let's have some fun, find the character type that you know in real life, and send them this video so they can go run out and purchase one of these games.
No, I don't mind sticking around, so long as Pudding Thief here is sleeping somewhere else.
What did you say? My soul is tied to these very floorboards. We are as one.
We all know the type. The arrogance just vents off them. They have to be right. And at the end of the day, it's all about them. So let's butter them up, drop them into the middle of a murder mystery, and have them become the ringleader of this group of kids defying the law. Let them go wild in Persona 4 Golden. Persona 4 Golden is a perfect entry because it does many things right. A solid combat system, likable, diverse cast of characters, and it blends real-life problems with this fantasy world. So this is a dungeon-crawling JRPG, not in the first person, that adds a lot of sim life aspects that flow very naturally into the story. A lot of the time, the things you invest in outside the story help you with the dungeon crawling, and it really becomes this routine, like you're living this life, and who wouldn't want to do that? Why I picked this over Persona 5, this one is A, shorter, and I really like the small town vibes. You arrogant types out there, or heck, anybody, all the hype is real. I think Persona 4 Golden is an excellent starting point, and you should play it. What about the people that want to start at the best? They don't want the fancy graphics or anything. They want to dive into the best, the retro, the golden era, as they have heard time and time again. This is where you start, at Final Fantasy VI. This is where you start for a couple of reasons. It is in that SNES golden era of JRPGs. It has one of the most popular villains in the genre. It has a simple turn-based combat system, but with the Espers, you can customize your characters kind of how you're liking. And the best part is there's such a wide variety of casts, you're going to find people that you like to use. The story really ramps up, so you're going to get invested in the story-wise, in the combat-wise, the gorgeous pixel graphics, that freaking opening and OST. Ugh! And the best part is, I beat this game in under 30 hours. So you Giga Chads out there, you could too. I knew he wouldn't be gone for long. This game right here is how you repel those gym-loving people that think weights are the story of life. Well, no. This game has a heartfelt story just for you.
Times of pain. I've survived here for 1,000 years, but I can recall none of it.
Lost Odyssey is sometimes considered to be the real Final Fantasy XIII to some people. This wonderful little gem on the 360 has a lot going for it, but we're talking about the focus of the story. The characters in this game are immortal, or at least some of them are. And it's really interesting to see how their viewpoint's different from the characters who are not immortal in this game. And it really does hit home on what is the meaning of life. And the best part is you can find these short stories that focus on a point in our main character's life. And they went the extra mile with this one. These short stories are actually written by a famed author from Japan. I think that's pretty freaking awesome. And besides that, you get a pretty excellent game to boot.
Lost Odyssey.
Okay, watch me blow your mind. What is this? It's a bottle of water. Good. Say this word 3 times. Ocean, ocean, ocean. Amazing. Spell this word for me. B-U-B-B-L-E. Bubble. Good. Now I want you to think of any color. Double tap the screen to lock it in. You're thinking
Parasite.
If I got that right, you gotta follow.
Sometimes you gotta trick the trickster. We got all the clickbaity type of women in this game, but you'll be pleasantly surprised that this game doesn't really fall into any of those tropes. Aabri is a really cool main protagonist. And the best part is you get a short, horror-themed JRPG that is worth your time. This is a hybrid turn-based battle system, so if somebody is adverse to just sitting in menus all the time, well, you run around in your little arenas that you find yourself in so that you can dodge and plan your attacks accordingly. I think this game almost holds up entirely. There's some strange design decisions at certain parts during the game, but honestly, there is so much to love about this game that you just gotta give it a shot. So go ahead and trick that Trickster because, one, this is a good solo party RPG, and those are very hard to do correctly. It has this pseudo-science kind of background for the story to take place into, and you get a day cycle, so it's easily digestible, and the pacing is set in stone because you're going from day to day. Learn all about the mitochondria and give Parasite Eve a shot. Oh, but once you beat the final boss, trust me, look up a walkthrough. You'll thank me later. Tales of Vesperia is an excellent starting point for those people that don't want to be in that turn-based combat. This one you get to fully control your character, kind of like a fighting game, but you're still playing an RPG. Now there is a lot to love here. You have an excellent varied cast of characters, but especially our main protagonist, Yuri, voiced by the wonderful Troy Baker, and he is a perfect fit for the journey that Yuri goes on here. Plus, this is a long game, so you're really getting your bang for your buck on this one. I remember playing this game and I was like, all right, here comes the ending, and then you get a whole nother arc. And that's always kind of fun when they throw that at you. And I mean, look at this. It's a dog with a pipe. Come on. Come on. Play this game. You won't be in menus. You'll be beating up your enemies. Play Tales of Vesperia.
I accidentally became a meme. My name's Drew Scanlon, and some of you may know me as the blinking white guy meme.
Whoa, wait. Pokemon's not just for kids? Yeah, I was surprised too. Pokemon gets this rap that it's baby's first RPG, and there is nothing wrong with that. You know, it's a simple concept, turn-based. You have one party member, most of the time facing off against another party member. The joy of these games is collecting the Pokemon themselves and seeing how they evolve, and who doesn't want to run around and catch little creatures, put them in a ball? It sounds gloriously fun. And Pokemon Legends Arceus is fun. I'm not the biggest Pokemon guy, but I can appreciate it as a series as a whole, and this is a nice sidestep that the series needed as a refresher. It got me really excited, and why I think this is a great starting point is because of that simple fact that they took their turn-based combat, but also put what they learned from Pokemon Go and made capturing more fun. Some people will see this as tedious. I think it's fun. Having the focus be on researching and catching Pokemon versus just battling, I think was a nice, needed switch, and this would be a great entry to start on, or to get back into the series if you were like me and kind of burnt out from it. And maybe you too will be surprised how much you actually still enjoy Pokemon.
Dingle bongle dingle dangle, yickety doo, yickety da, ping pong, lippy tappy too-ta.
Look, Nintendo has its fair share of problems, but they also have great games. So if you know somebody that only plays Nintendo, well, do I have an RPG for you. Of course, those Nintendo lovers, those fanboys maybe, gotta have Mario in it, don't ya? What I like about Super Mario RPG is it does have the influences of Final Fantasy, and you can see that DNA in there, while still being a Mario game. And one, I think it's really cool that this has some characters that we have never seen in another Mario game, unless you count Super Smash as a trophy, but we have Geno and Mallow in this, and I think they're really cool additions on top of being able to team up with Bowser and Princess Peach. I think it's cool that we get to explore the Mushroom Kingdom. It really does feel like an RPG in that aspect, going from island to island. We have a different bad guy that's really strange. You have an ultimate secret boss that is a Final Fantasy boss that you can fight in this one. You know, there's a lot of extra side stuff too, little mini games, and in itself, the battle system has little mini game aspects. You have time button presses, which are hit or miss with the community. This would be a great starting point to see if this is something you like, because there are other games that you could go down that rabbit hole. So if people like the more involved battle system where you have to be present for every single attack and move, this is a great starting point because this will just lead you to play more. And I think this is probably the best in the series out of all the RPGs of Mario. And there's another contender out there, which we might talk about some other day. Plus, you just have a unique art style that is definitely hit or miss with the community out there. My gosh, but a lot to love in this game. I love that it's just different. You should play it.
Guys, I've discovered something so cool which I must share with all my travel lovers.
I love that this text right here is part of the trailer. It just makes me laugh. We've come a long way since Lunar Silver Star Complete came out, but that doesn't mean it's not an adventure worth going on. All you adventure types out there, this is the one to get. Now, I can't totally throw my bias aside. This is literally one of my favorite games of all time. What I love about it is excellent characters. The banter between them is amazing, and it's just about that quest to save the world. This to me just feels like that perfect encapsulation of what a JRPG is supposed to be. And probably one of my favorite aspects about the game is it is one generation removed from like the other heroes and the big events that happen in the world. You know, a lot of times like 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago, this is what happened. No, this was just a generation before. Alex, their main protagonist, is looking up to the previous main character, the swordsman that was from his hometown. He wants to be that. And what do you know? He goes on an adventure just like that guy did. I think this game is beautiful. The pixel graphics are amazing. The animated cutscenes are excellent. It's funny. It's got really sad moments. It's got excellent character moments. The OST just makes you want to feel joy, especially when you're stomping around that overworld map. Man, this game has so much going for it, and I think if you want the sense of adventure, this is the one you do. And I really like the battle system. I think it's very unique. You have to do positioning, but besides that, it's your kind of typical turn-based affair, but done well. And this version specifically, you have all the enemies on screen, so no random encounters. That's a big plus when you're starting off your journey on a JRPG adventure. If you play your cards right and you know what you're doing, you can make it to the end of this game under 30 hours. Now that is just beautiful. I'll know the type. They're out there. They're having withdrawals. They can't turn away from WoW, but it's disappointing them. They need something fresh and new, but not too fresh. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on the Nintendo Switch is the perfect choice for you. I mean them. Yeah, of course, I'm talking about them. The battle system is very much derived from MMOs, so you'll be right at home in there, picking your skills, waiting for attacks to load up, cooldowns on the skills afterwards, and you get a giant world to explore. And I think the cast of characters are pretty awesome. The locations are very varied, and it incentivizes you to explore because when you find new areas, especially secret areas, you get experience. So if you like that from the Western RPGs like Skyrim and Fallout, well, there's another reason to pick this up then. The best part, you will not see the twist coming. The end of this game is bonkers. Yeah, I love it. Bonkers in the best of ways. It is a top tier game on the Nintendo Switch, and if you really love this, well, you have Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, you have Future Connected and Future Redeemed. You got a lot of future content to get going. And so, just like WoW, there you go. Go down the rabbit hole.
Good afternoon, we got a banger for you today, baby. Apex Legends, a game that I've been playing with the boys.
the bro shooter, gotta have my action, everything's gotta be happening all at once, keep my brain a-moving and stimulated. I play those type of games every once in a while too, so I get ya. You gotta have the greatest, the latest, and let me tell you, here it is.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir.
How can you not feel cool by carrying that giant buster sword like Cloud there? And then you'll look at Tifa and you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll stick around for that character development and all that. And you know what? She can just punch me as much as she wants because, man, I'm into it. Final Fantasy VII Original, back in 1997, was the entry point for a lot of us into this genre of games. And I think Final Fantasy Remake can be that for another generation of people. It looks amazing, it plays really cool, it's very action-oriented now, but you can slow it down with this cool slow-down menu picking, so you feel like you're still playing a turn-based game. And I mean, it's Final Fantasy VII. I feel like this game transcends genres and transcends barriers. Now, of course, it's not a perfect one-to-one, they take a lot of different liberties, but again, this can feel fresh, exciting, and then you know you have the original there if you want to go back to it. Remember, this is trying to get new people into this genre. Final Fantasy VII Remake, perfect choice.
But not like this. I feel trapped.
But I'm going to show you that if everything has a home, you can be more productive. My craft supplies up here, and then I keep more of it on this pegboard. I love organizing with pegboards.
The maker of checklists, the person who's going to scrutinize every little detail, this is the game for them. Final Fantasy X has this way of sucking you into the world. Whether by this story just having this checklist of places you need to go before you fight the big baddie, the big whale, along with the sphere grid. You look at that sphere grid and your instant reaction, if you're this type of person, you're like, I gotta fill it out. I just have to. I have to make sure all my characters light up this giant grid, this board in front of me. And the best part, this is a very, very friendly new beginning player. There are some stumbling points. Blitzball, and a couple other things. I will defend this scene. I will. If you take it out of context, it looks terrible. Whatever, doesn't matter. Moving along. This combat system is perfect. It's not ATB. You can plan your attacks. You have this nice bar on the right side that tells you your turn order. It's very easy to understand. You have elements and weaknesses that, again, easy to understand. This feels like a point where Final Fantasy turned into something different, but also a great starting point for new players that can, flip-flop between, okay, maybe I'll check out the older ones, or maybe I'll check out the newer ones. And I feel like this is the true last one that felt like a blend of new and old. Once we get past this, it starts getting muddled whether Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy has always evolved, but this is the last one that really still feels like a true Final Fantasy game. And a lot of people disregard that, but you know what? This is my list, not yours. You get an interesting crew to pair up with to adventure throughout this world. As you adventure, Yuna dances. Papa Orin. Daddy. So there you have it. 11 different jumping in points for the JRPG genre for every character type. Which one do you think is the best starting point if you're getting into JRPGs? Let me know down below, and until next time, keep doing what you love and keep playing some more games.